So I'm going to kick it off here for folks. My name is Tyler Downey, and I'm the Secretary Treasurer for SEIU Healthcare Canada. Woo! Yeah. I'm going to cheer for myself here. And I'm really excited to be here tonight with you as we unveil some really important work that we're going to be getting into this year. And so really appreciate folks taking the time out to get on. I know we sent emails out beginning Monday, and I know folks are like super stretched and busy, and a lot of folks are working. So what we've done is we're going to record this session and send it out to our members next week for those who weren't able to join. So before we get into the agenda, I just want to do a quick land acknowledgement so that we take the time to recognize and respect the land that we all are settled on and have been settled on. And as settlers, we're grateful for the opportunity to meet here, and we thank all of the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years before us. And we recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection. We also recognize the contributions of Métis, Inuit, and other Indigenous peoples have made, both in shaping and strengthening our communities, and in particular, our province and country as a whole. And so it's always important to recognize that we are settlers, and this is stolen land, and we got to make sure that we recognize the Indigenous and the First Nations that have been here long before us. The other thing I want to do before we get started is just talk about the Zoom etiquette and making sure that when we open it up for comments and questions and interaction in some of the breakout rooms that we're going to be doing tonight, that folks are respectful. We're not going to tolerate any racist, sexist, homophobic, any type of comments that is disrespectful to anyone in this space. We're not going to tolerate that, and we just kick you out of the Zoom. That's kind of plain and simple what we're going to do tonight if any of that happens. So just be respectful. We're all adults. We want to have a great time. We want to share. We want to talk with each other, and we want to share what we're going to do over the next few months. So that's the Zoom etiquette, and hopefully folks will respect that. So why don't we jump right into what we're here for tonight? And so what I want to do now is invite Charlene Stewart, our president of our great union, to come and share a few words, and then I'll come back and talk a little bit about the agenda for tonight. Charlene.
Great, thank you, Tyler. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you across Ontario from every corner. I think it's represented there. It's so really cool to see all of you join on our call tonight and show the interest in this new exciting action program that we have and this new member committee program that you're going to hear about. And hopefully after tonight, many of you will agree to join this exciting political action committee. And I just want to remind us that this committee will give you the opportunity to influence real change in your lives, and I'd say your coworkers and even the lives of your loved ones. And I want to remind folks too, we were talking today about politics and this meeting and thinking about how over the last 10 years, SEIU has been making some real change in the lives of our members through our own political action work and engagement. It seems like not so long ago, we asked the question whether or not you thought the union should get involved in politics, and it was an overwhelming yes. And some of the things that we've achieved over the past 10 plus years are some of the most amazing wage increases that we have ever seen through our work with premiers and ministers from various parties that we would never, ever get at the bargaining table. Over the past 10 years, and just one example is the increase that home care wages have seen. They've doubled since 2014, doubled. That's 100% wage increases that we would never, ever get at the bargaining table. And I got it, and many of you know, because you've worked on elections, you've been politically involved before, but real life changes, that life-affecting changes happen at the ballot box, and you'll hear about that. And those changes, as you know, can be good changes like these wage enhancements and others that we've seen, the recent PSW enhancements, but there can also be bad changes like Bill 124, where they cap your wages. So whoever gets the most votes in that election ballot box, quite frankly, controls the money. And the money is what's going to make healthcare improvements for our patients, our residents, and our clients. They're going to be changes that make your work safe, that provide you with good, safe workloads, and of course, affects your wages and benefits. So this SEIU political program is really, really exciting. Political Action Committee is going to be, I can't wait. It's going to be exciting to have the member leaders on there. And this new Political Action Committee, I know that it will, and it does have the opportunity to influence the outcome of these votes. You're going to hear more about that tonight, and I can't wait to hear the outcome of this and watch the committee grow, and for you to bring more people into the committee work that we're going to be launching this week. We launched it with the invites for the members to join. So I just want to say thank you for joining us tonight, for showing the interest, and I know for participating in this exciting program and committee that we have moving forward. So again, thank you, and I'm going to pass it over to Executive Vice President Nina.
Thank you, Charlene, and good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year, happy 2023. Just like Charlene said, and what Tyler is about to talk, I mean, I cannot stress enough the importance of getting involved in politics, because politics matters. There are so many ways to get involved in politics. I mean, in your workplace, in your union, and of course, in your communities. 2023, we will be fighting back and pushing forward, but it will also be about strengthening ourselves and our communities. Last year, we were proud to host our first ever LGBTQ2+ and First Nations Inuit Métis Summits, giving members from these communities a place to come together, empower each other, and plan for the future in the future. And in 2023, I am excited to debut several more summits for equity-seeking groups as we work to ensure everyone has a place and a voice in their union. We have an important year ahead, and it's essential you are part of that. Thank you, and I look forward to the victories, memories, and growth that we will experience in 2023. Back to you, Tyler.
Thanks, Mina, and thanks, Charlene. And, you know, it's going to be a fabulous year. We've got some great things lined up. So, Mark, why don't we cue the PowerPoint now? And I'll just start to begin here, laying sort of the foundation for what we're going to be talking about tonight. So here's the deal. Politics is about attention. It's the game and the competition for attention. I mean, that's kind of how I'm framing it. I'm sure there's other definitions for what politics is. But in my mind, it's about who and what groups can garner the most intense attention for their causes. And what we are going to be doing beginning this year through the work that you're going to see unveiled here tonight is to ensure that the healthcare agenda achieves a lot of attention right across this province, in every small community across this province, wherever we got members. And so there's going to be opportunities for everyone here and others to participate in a meaningful way to draw the attention to the healthcare issues that we face every day. And so I wanted to start with that. And so what are we doing? Well, there's two things that we're going to be doing. Mark, if you can go to the next slide. So we're going to be rolling out what we're calling the Political Action Committee. And so you would have seen the email that went out on Monday, looking to recruit members to participate and be on the Political Action Committee. It's going to be led by our 8 regional executive board members. So we've got a few on here tonight that I'm going to definitely shout out. And we spent some time over the last few months as an executive board team putting the plan and the program together. And so I just want to quickly shout out our executive board members. I don't know who all is on tonight. You'll hear from Jake shortly. Jake Dale, who represents Region 6, is going to be co-facilitating this presentation with me. I know there's others that are on tonight. And so we spent some time over the last few months really preparing what you're going to see tonight. And so what we're going to do as part of the committee is we're going to recruit 51 members in total. We're going to focus on elected official engagement and outreach to local community residents to support our healthcare advocacy right across this province. And so the 51 members in total is what I really want folks to hone in on. What we've done here is we've made it really accessible, because I know I've been to, I think, all the regional areas and all the small communities and rural areas over the last 2 or 3 years. And I've met with many of you, and I've heard from you, and we've heard from you about the fact that many things happen in the GTA, and you're sick and tired of that and frustrated, and we heard you loud and clear. And so what we've done is we've designed this to be very inclusive, so the 51 members will be spread across all parts of the province. And so that will give every member in communities across our union an opportunity to participate. The second thing that we're going to do is right after we select the Political Action Committee later on this month, we're going to begin our Leadership Academy. And so some of you are recalled back in 2016, we had launched the initial Leadership Academy, great success. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of members from across the province participated in 13 cities across this province in our Saturday sessions. And so we're going to bring that back, starting March 25th. There'll be 2 hours in class training and then 2 hours in the community. We're going to talk a little bit about the community work that we need to do. That's going to be an important part of our work this year. And the academy sessions, for those who aren't familiar with the Leadership Academy, it's very straightforward and simple, but it's really about teaching you how to be confident and comfortable speaking with people about healthcare. And why that's important is because elected officials, community members need to hear your voice as frontline workers on what's happening and what are the priorities that we're advocating for when it comes to healthcare. So here are the goals. So I talked about 51 active Political Action Committee members right across the province. What we want to do is we want to average about 1 to 5% member involvement across all areas. You might be thinking, well, 1 to 5%, that's fairly small. This year, we're going to start small, and we want to build on those numbers. So we know that folks are tired, they're burnt out. The pandemic has really done a number on our members. There's a lot of fatigue out there. And so what we want to be doing is being mindful that, folks are going to be stretched for time. And so we don't want to have overly ambitious goals as we launch this. And so we're going to be aiming to get 1 to 5% of our members involved in all of the areas. The other goal we got is about 50,000 community residents to sign up to support healthcare. Why that's important? It's important because that's where we can really flex our power, really flex our influence, and again, really draw attention to the issues of healthcare. If you can imagine in your own communities, if you had 30, 50, 100 members and community members talking about the same issues, going to local MPPs about the same issues as it relates to healthcare, whether you're in hospitals or home care or LTC or paramedic work, if you can imagine all those people talking to your MP and the elected officials about healthcare, what a difference that would make in terms of how they viewed the solutions and how they viewed standing up and their obligation to stand up for you. And so what we want to do is build a mass amount of community support over the next little while in the form of signing petitions and joining our movement as it relates to healthcare advocacy. And so 50,000 is our number. So you may ask, why are we doing this? And so, Mark, if you want to go to the next slide. Really, it's about activating our collective power across Ontario. Our collective power. We represent about 60,000 members across this great province. Our collective power with our members, collective power with our community is going to get us the attention and the influence that we need to really move the healthcare agenda forward. And so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on local elected officials, and we're going to force them to support the healthcare agenda. No more are they going to be able to hide in their offices or hide behind the doors. We're going to knock the doors down and demand that they step up and support the healthcare agenda. And we're going to do that in conjunction with our members and our community allies. And so part of that is going to be building the community support to strengthen our healthcare system. And then in 2026, we're going to really use that leverage and use that power to influence the provincial outcomes. So that's part of why we're doing this work. We really need to start now so that we get our momentum that will lead us to influence in the 2026 provincial outcome. So you might ask, how are we going to do this? So next slide. So this year is all about setting the foundation. You know, it's going to be really focused on our members. It's going to be focused on developing your skills through the Leadership Academy. It's going to be about developing your skills in the community as we have conversations with people. It's going to be doing some outreach to our members at the workplace level. So really setting the foundation for us to be comfortable and confident with how we speak with each other, but also how we speak with community about the needs and the demands of healthcare going forward. That's what we're going to do this year. In 2024, we're going to really focus on strategic targeting of ride-ins. So we're going to shift and we're going to really hone in on organizing town hall events and organizing community events so that, you know, we bring the community together to talk about healthcare. We bring other unions together in communities to talk about healthcare. And so really doing that real focus on targeted ride-ins across the province. And then obviously in 2025, we're going to have a big pre-election push, you know, again, doubling down on our community efforts, doubling down on the messaging, having candidates that are looking to run, you know, show up to our town halls, having candidates who are looking to be elected, speak about healthcare and make demands of those candidates to speak about healthcare in their platform. And making sure that healthcare is the #1 platform issue that these candidates talk about. And then in 2026, we're going to go all in, make sure that our members get out and vote, their family members get out and vote. And so you can see the next 4 years, we're really going to use our time wisely to build the foundation, to build the blocks, to build the infrastructure necessary to move the work. And so it's going to be exciting, but just wanted to give you a sense of the phases and some of the work that we're going to be doing. So what I want to do now is I want to introduce Jake Dale, who's our Region 6 Executive Board member. He's going to walk you through the when and the where and the who. Go ahead, Jake.
Thank you, Tyler. It's always tough to follow you, but thanks for getting everybody warmed up. Hello, everyone. Who's excited to be here? Let's see you guys raise your hands. I love being able to see everyone, and I'm so excited to see all of you today, all the leaders who want to take charge and make change. First off, I'm Jake Dale. I'm your Region 6 Executive Board member for Niagara Norfolk. I'm a proud registered practical nurse at Niagara Health System at the St. Catharines site, and I've been an SEIU member for over 10 years and the current chief steward for all sites down there. A little bit about me. I started getting involved and stepping up about 4 or 5 years ago after I had enough of the status quo at a workplace. I reached out to our union, the union SEIU. They taught me how important it was to be involved in politics. What goes on in our workplaces and at the bargaining table obviously has a huge impact, but so does who is leading our government. Look at how our current Conservative government and how they treat us. That's how we ended up with the current laws that suppress our wages, like Bill 124, and limit our right to bargain. I wanted to make some real change, and it's very important that our voices are heard. Some of the first times I got involved with politics was reaching out to my local MPP, Jenny Stevens, who's the NDP representative for St. Catharines. We had brought forward some various concerns at Niagara Health there about isolation pay at the beginning of COVID. And it was quite refreshing to see the kind of change that can happen when you advocate. She took our issues to Queen's Park, and we were able to secure isolation pay for our members there. So enough about me. If we can move the slides forward, let's move on to what the Political Action Committee membership will look like. Here's some dates first. So we got our deadline is January 22nd that you guys will all apply to. From there, we will select our members. The registration for the Leadership Academy will be the 23rd. We will have some training on the 7th of March for the PAC members. And then when we launch our Leadership Academy training sessions, which will be the 25th of March, April 1st, 15th, and 22nd. From there, we will have a political education summit in late May and early June to put together all of the education and training that we have done. From there, we'll build out into our local regional events, which could be festivals, malls, beer fests, wine fests, whatever's going on in the summer where our local politicians will be. And then we'll expand that out to regional actions and trainings in the fall. So let's see where this is going to take us. If we move forward a bit here, we're going to talk about each region. So region 1, which is Thunder Bay and the Algonquin regions, will have 5. Region 2 will also have 5, which is Northumberland. Region 3 will have 4 members on the PAC committee from Georgian Bay region. Region 5, which is Hamilton Halton, will have 6. 5. Region 6, my region, will have 6. And then region 7 will have 5, and region 8 will have 5 as well. Show of hands, how many people here knew we had 60,000 members across Ontario? I know it's easy to realize how many we have across the regions there, so awesome. And it's important that we leverage those 60,000 because they can make real changes. So it is very important that this committee that we're going to be building is balanced between the amount of members that live in a specific region and where they live. If nearly everyone on our political action committee was from Toronto, it wouldn't be very representative of the unique needs of our members, say, that live up in the north in Thunder Bay, or the south in St. Catharines, or out in the London way. Next, we're going to go over a breakdown by region. So over here in region 1, just so hang on tight, here we go. Each of these cities or areas will have one person. So Thunder Bay, Iroquois Falls, Kirkland, as you can see, they'll all have 1, it'll make 5. To be clear, that does not mean, for example, you can't be on the committee if you don't live in Kingston, as we came to, or North Bay. It's really just to ensure that there are enough members to ensure enough representation for each major city or town in the region. During the presentation, when we call out your region, or you see it in the presentation, raise your hand, give a wave, and make a funny face. However you want to say hello, turn off your mic, give a quick yeah, shout, whatever you feel like, letting us know you're here and you're ready and fired up, ready to go. So who here is from region 1? Anybody from Thunder Bay? I can't see all the cameras, so I'm going to hope and see that you guys are dancing, because Thunder Bay knows how to throw a party. Region 2? Beautiful. How about region 3? And region 4? Perfect, that's Toronto there. There should be some people from Toronto. Region 5 and 6. 6 is mine, so I'm here. How you guys doing? 7 and 8. Awesome. Beautiful. All right, so moving. There we go. Bring that back up. All right, so if we move through the slides here for each region, so moving to region 2. Thank you. As you can see the breakdown, each the major cities will have 1: Ajax, Belleville, Cobourg, Pickering. Moving on to region 3. Barrie, Collingwood, Midland, and Ridley will have 1. Again, you don't have to be in there to be in the PAC. Region 4 will have 8 broken down between all the major cities. Awesome. Region 5 will have 5, 2 from Hamilton, 1 from Brampton, 2 from Mississauga. It's all based on our population there from our members. Region 6, there's the breakdown for Cambridge, Brantford, Kitchener, St. Kitts, Niagara Falls, and Welland. Region 7, Chatham, London will have 2, Sarnia and Windsor. Beautiful. And then region 8 will have 5 as well. Beautiful. Thank you, Mark. Moving on, this is I find this information here quite interesting. This is a breakdown of the provincial electoral districts broken down by member, total population, and that last column is how many people in that electoral district are SEIU healthcare members. Over 1% of people in Humber River Black Creek, that's North York, are SEIU healthcare members. 1% may seem small, but that is actually a lot. Here's another electoral district that is really interesting to me. York South-Weston, that's a conservative seat with the highest members of SEIU healthcare members. You know who the MPP is for that district, by the way, right? Doug Ford's nephew, Michael Ford. Yeah. Just so you guys know, only 30,000, just over 30,000 people voted in the York South-Weston in that last election. When you look at it that way, the number of SEIU powers in this district, it makes you wonder what it would look like if we could take charge and do our part. What if we could get even more SEIU members to vote next time around? What kind of changes could we do? We could tip the ballot. Elections are won and lost by votes, single votes. So I'll leave this up for a few more seconds so a few people can take a look and see how many members we have in St. Catharines, that is. We have over 1,000 members, which is almost about 1% of that. Alrighty, so now we're going to open the floor for some questions. Please try to use the raise your hand or drop your question right in the chat. Like you don't feel comfortable taking yourself off mic, just type your question in the chat or raise your hand.
Hey, Jake, I think we had a question from Debbie. Debbie, do you want to come off mute and ask the question that you had earlier?
Sure. So my question was, we're talking about healthcare and promoting healthcare, but healthcare is really, really broad. And so I'm just wondering if you could elaborate on that, and maybe just to be a little bit more, to give you a little context. I work at a community health center, and our staff are not PSWs. Most of us aren't nurses. We definitely work in healthcare. And so we often haven't really been given a lot of mention. And so I just think it's really important that we represent it. But I'm just wondering what SEIU is thinking about how you're going to go about this work. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you, Debbie. And well, thanks for the work that you do in the community. When we say healthcare, we really just talking about our members, and so who our members are and who we represent. And so what we're going to do here is we're inviting all members, regardless of your classification, to begin to participate, right? And so we're trying to make it as inclusive as possible. And so some of the lobbying and the meetings with MPPs will be specific to classifications potentially. Some will be based on sectors. Some will be based on key issues. And so there will be a number of ways that groups like yours will be represented in the work that we do. And so at this point, we're really just inviting everyone that works in any of our units under the umbrella of healthcare to come out and participate. And then as things progress, we can figure out how to make sure unique issues are addressed in specific ways. And so we're not there yet. This is really, and again, I talked about foundation. This is about, let's just get folks together first, draw out how we begin to move together as a collective. So hopefully that answers the question. But when we say healthcare, it's really about our members. There's a broad spectrum
whatever you call it.
we represent. Thanks, Debbie.
PM.
Our next question, Breyer asks, how will members be chosen if there is more than one from each region?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I think, we put the application out there, and, what we're going to do is spend some time, I believe the week of the 23rd, and go through the applications. We know there's going to be multiple applications from each region. And so, we're hoping to select, based on maybe experience, maybe folks who have been on committees before, who have done political action work before, or folks who are just really, really eager to participate. So it'll be a wide range of things that we'll look at when we begin to select the committee members. We want to make sure it's diverse. So, we're not going to just select all PSWs, things like that. We want to make sure that there's a good representation across the classifications that we represent. And so that will be part of the consideration. And, Debbie just asked about, the work that she does in the community. So on the committee, we want to make sure that there's folks that work in the community that are part of the committee as well. And so there will be a number of ways to select folks. It'll be a rigorous process. And that's why we're giving ourselves, 4 or 5 days to go through the list a few times to make sure that we select the right folks. And just, I'll say this for the folks that don't get selected, the leadership academies are another opportunity to participate. So those start on March 25th, April 1st. What's the next one? Is that April 15th, Corey? April 15th and then the 22nd? Did I get it right? Yeah, so there'll be 4 sessions for, you know, members who may have not been selected for the committee itself to participate. And so, you know, I don't want people to be discouraged if they don't get selected for the committee, because there will be opportunities to participate in a different way. And, you know, if you don't see your city there, or and you're eager and you want to start up a committee in your own city, and we've got some density, we are definitely open to have folks lead some of the work in cities that we may have not mentioned, right? And so I think the point I want to make here is that we don't want any member who wants to step up, who has maybe a few members in that local area, to feel left out. So if you are one that wants to be trained, that wants to step up and wants to like participate, let us know and we can figure out how to accommodate that if we've got enough members in your immediate area to set up a mini academy, if you will. So I just want to throw it out there.
All right, our next question is from Patricia. She asks, how can we get more members involved in voting?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's where, you know, we're striving towards, Patricia. You know, it's it was a little concerning for me. I mean, a lot concerning, I should say, that, you know, the last election, it's like everybody stayed home, you know, such important decisions that we make as citizens of this province, and folks choose not to exercise their right to participate in elections. And so for us, the way in which we're looking at this is we want to create an environment where our members hear about the importance of politics, they hear about the importance of like voting, they hear the opportunities for them to get themselves involved in some way. And some folks aren't going to be like necessarily like able to participate, you know, hours on end to get involved, but some folks may do it. And so we really want to create spaces for as many members to participate over the next 3 years as possible. We're going to create opportunities for them to be educated and learn about the importance of politics. But we're going to create the spaces for people to participate with the hopes that it'll sink in over time. Some members will get it right away and they'll want to participate. And some will take a little bit longer for them to see the importance and for them to participate. At the end of the day, I think one of the things that we've been really conscious of is to create the environment so that members have a place and they see themselves within this plan. And that's why we've made the committee so large. We provide an opportunity for members to participate right across this province. So I think if we do that really, really well, we get members to participate on the committee, we can really spread out this education we need to do with our members. We can reach as many folks over the next course of a few months as possible. So that's the idea. So hopefully that was helpful to hear, but it'll be a work in progress.
I see Jennifer with her hand up. Jennifer, if you want to come off mute.
Jennifer Dip.
Hi there.
Hi.
I work in the hospital, actually the same one that Jake Dale works at. The question I have for you guys is, I'm an RPN that's full-time. I'm also an RN upgrading student that's in the middle of a program. How much time is dedicated to, if you get selected to the committee, like how much, like, I mean, obviously you
intense
can't
is
know.
it?
Yes. How intense is it? And, you know, like, are there smaller roles in the committee, or is it a pretty big commitment if you do get chosen?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So if you are one that has, you know, multiple commitments like you just described, Jennifer, being a leader. So really what we're trying to do with this political action committee is that they will be leading and facilitating the academy sessions and, you know, being the leaders within their region and working with the executive board regional members. So there is a commitment. You know, one of the commitments is to be showing up for the training that we'll do in March for the committee, and then attending the academy sessions that I talked about. So the March 25th, April 1st, what is it called? You know, the 16th, or yeah, the 15th and the 22nd. And so being available, you may not be available for all of those sessions, but being available for, you know, a few or as many as you can for those sessions to help facilitate and help guide those conversations and those actions that will come out. and then really being committed to doing the community work with the members in your regional area. And so it is a commitment. I don't want to kid anybody. I don't want to fool anybody. So if you have like multiple commitments like you just described, Jennifer, the thing I would suggest is show up to like the Leadership Academy sessions, because that is like, you know, you're showing up, you're participating, you're getting trained, and we're going to be doing some community outreach from those academy sessions, so you can still feel like you're participating, but the role is a little smaller. So that's what I would suggest.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for being a great RPN, and good luck with the course.
All right, Tyler, I will do 2 more questions before we
Okay.
get in the breakout rooms. I'll give them both to you at the same time here. So Natalie asks, will the academy sessions be in person or online or a combination? And Janice wants to know if LOAs being granted will be a barrier to being on the committee for some workplaces.
Say the first question again.
Will the academies be in person,
In-person.
online, or both?
Yeah, so they're going to be the academy sessions, the 4 sessions, the Saturday sessions will be in person. And so we're working through the logistics of that right now. Some of them will be in like community centers, maybe, you know, legions. So we're going to be putting that all together over the next few weeks. So it won't be virtual, it'll all be in person. And so there won't be any LOAs for those sessions. There will be LOAs, leave of absences, for members who are selected for the Political Action Committee. Will get LOAs for the training and any training that we do. So the Saturday sessions will be all volunteer. I'll give you a sense of the commitment there. It'll be probably like 10 o'clock in the morning to about 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So there'll be short sessions. 2 hours will be in class learning, and we'll have some content for that. And then about 2 hours doing some community outreach work, talking about healthcare. And so that hopefully gives folks a sense of what to expect in the academy sessions.